somber ceremony.
We need to be a true beacon of freedom.
A local vigil in support of the protesters in Cuba. Red tide trouble.
We bought some Vicks to put in our nose to kind of subdue the smell.
Floridians try to enjoy the beach as officials clear out dead fish by the ton. And leaders from D.C. and Baghdad setting a date.
But deal with the threats from the Middle East in a different way, with a smaller footprint.
For the combat mission in Iraq coming to an end. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Zitlali Solache, and today is Tuesday, July 27th, 2021.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
Breaking news out of Tokyo this morning after a bad landing on the vault. Simone Biles has dropped out of the team gymnastics finals. USA Gymnastics putting an official statement saying Simone Biles has withdrawn from the team final competition due to a medical issue. She will be assessed daily to determine medical clearance for future competitions. Thinking of you, Simone. We'll have more on the Tokyo Games later in the newscast, including surfer who was born in South Florida and is going to the sport's first ever Olympic gold. But our top story this morning is a continued protest over Cuba. As the network's Glenroy Gray reports, one of yesterday's local events was at Hialeah Park.
I'm here at Hialeah Park Racing and Casino, where Miami-Dade Commissioner Rene Garcia organized a visual to honor Cubans fighting for freedom. Dozens of residents came out to support the vigil to show support to the Cubans still fighting for freedom on the island. The majority of the speakers were conservative figures here in Miami, such as Hialeah's mayor candidate Esteban Bovo and Commissioner Rene Garcia. But Mayor Daniela Levine Cava was also there to show her support for the Cuban people, and they all expressed a bipartisan intent to work together and free Cuba. Human rights activist Muñeca Fuentes said this is not just a battle for Cubans' freedom, but a battle for freedom across Latin America.
Un pueblo que lleva ya 62 años derramando sangre.
The liberty of Cuba, a community that has shed blood for over 62 years, that is enough. Nicaragua, with 42 years, that is enough. Venezuela, with 43 years, that is enough. Let's get together and with collaboration from the power of God, let's defeat the harmful snake's head that is located in Cuba.
UFC star and Miami native George Masvidal was in attendance and said that he does not have high hopes that the Biden administration will help those on the island.
I got no faith in this administration, honestly, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope to the soul of me that I'm so wrong on this one. They come forward and they help the Cuban people free themselves.
From athlete to religious and political leaders, people have expressed their frustrations and their intentions to keep fighting for Cuba. Glenroy Gray, South Florida Media Network.
Marching for freedom, Cuban protesters continue to rally in Washington, D.C., showing support for their brothers and sisters back on the island. Taking to Washington, D.C., dozens attended a Cuba Freedom rally near the U.S.-Cuban Embassy with plans to march to the White House.
Tenemos que sacar a nuestros cubanos, hermanos, y darle la libertad en su propio país.
Meanwhile, across the ocean, the Cuban embassy in Paris was attacked Monday night. According to an official statement, 2 individuals are suspected of throwing Molotov cocktails at the building, causing a fire. The statement said the attacks, quote, are encouraged by the U.S. government's campaign against our country. As Cuba continues with its humanitarian problem this morning, Mexico and Russia sent a generous donation to the island. Mexico dispatched 2 Navy ships to the island with food and medical supplies. This included face masks, syringes, oxygen tanks, and canned food products. Russia took a similar action by sending 2 planes carrying 88 tons of humanitarian aid. Up and down the beaches of Pinellas County here in Florida, over 3 million pounds of dead fish ended up ashore. As the network's Christopher Gomez reports, beachgoers are not letting this red tide ruin their beach day.
Breaks my heart. Breaks my heart.
Carol Andrews lives in Largo. She and her sister are enjoying the beach the best they can, despite the red tide.
We bought some Vicks to put in our nose to kind of subdue the smell. And it's helping a bit.
What's also helping are the crews working to rake up the dead fish and get them off the beach.
Day to day it changes, obviously, but we picked up approximately 1,500 tons of fish to date, which is about equal to what we did over all of 2018.
To put that even more into perspective, 2018 was one of the worst red tide blooms in recorded history for the Tampa Bay area. Pinellas County says the 2018 bloom lasted from the beginning of August to the end of November, about 4 months. The county says this bloom that started around June 11th to now has already produced as many dead fish as in 2018, and it's only been a month and a half.
This is as bad, if not worse, than 2018.
Haven't really seen this many dead fish ever before.
But Austin Taylor wasn't going to let the dead fish ruin his beach day, and many other people didn't seem to mind. Dozens were on the beach and in the water like it was no big deal. But Carol says she just wants it gone.
I want it to go away, but yet I don't want other people to have to deal with this, because the beach is God's gift to us.
After 2 decades, the United States post 9/11 combat mission in Iraq is coming to an end. President Biden, along with the Iraqi Prime Minister, making it official Monday. For now, troops will remain in Iraq in a non-combat role.
We are not going to be, by the end of the year, in a combat mission.
However, many leaders, including the Prime Minister, have goals to fight terrorism in the area like ISIS and hope to do this with the help of the U.S. A tropical storm making its closest path to the Tokyo Games. That's still ahead, and so is this story.
Tons of goals and things I want to do, but right now I'm just trying to live in the moment and enjoy this.
A surfer who was born in South Florida making her Olympic debut today, and so is the sport that made her famous. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Doesn't see race. Love is love.
Roll over. Can't high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Golden Waves surfers able to compete in the Olympics for the first time ever. One of them is a teenager with ties to South Florida. The Olympic surfing is complete after organizers pushed the event forward in time to avoid a tropical storm slamming into Japan. The event changed to Tuesday. Boca Raton native Caroline Marks, who now lives in Melbourne, isn't even 20 and is making history. She is one of 2 female surfers for Team USA.
I love surfing so much and I enjoy it so much. Yeah, I have tons of goals and things I want to do, but right now I'm just trying to live in the moment and enjoy this.
Marks has been surfing since she was 10 years old. She says the sport is really fun and she's soaking it all up to be an Olympian. Despite the storm and the ongoing pandemic, Fans and athletes are cheering on the history of surfing from an alternative sport to the mainstream. That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Zitlali Solache. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.